Kidney disease does not discriminate, whether it be age, race, or gender. 3 young adults in the prime of their lives suddenly found themselves with their worlds turned upside down when faced with a diagnosis of kidney disease. For each of them, their lives have been significantly and positively impacted by improved treatment options, groundbreaking medical research, and the miracles of modern medicine. Here are their stories.
I was playing in a game and I took a pretty big hit in my kidney from behind, and I didn't think much of it at the time. You don't really feel those kind of things during the game. There's too much adrenaline going, and I wasn't really in a lot of pain, but there was blood in my urine, and that went on for about 2 months, and I made the mistake of not telling anyone. I thought it would go away. I thought it was just from a rugby hit, and I didn't want to not get to play the rest of the season, so I didn't tell anyone, but it started to get worse and worse. So I quickly ran up to St. Mike's because I could feel something was wrong. I went and had a biopsy done, and the biopsy, they just put a needle through your back to take out a little section of your kidney, and it's supposed to be just a simple procedure, in and out, during just a one-day thing, but they had some issues with mine because it was a very small space they had to work with to get the needle in.
The surgeon that had done the exploratory surgery says, "This is something we better have a look at." At that time, we were introduced to new words in our vocabulary, like nephrons and nephrologists and things like these are not things you normally think about.
I was told the next day that from the preliminary reports that I had a very severe and rare kidney disease called IgA nephropathy.
Glomerular-based kidney disease accounts for approximately 25% of new cases of end-stage renal disease in Canada each year. Although rare relative to other causes of end-stage renal disease, this group of diseases generates enormous individual and societal burden, as it often strikes younger patients in the prime of their lives when they are busy completing their education and establishing their careers. The most common form of primary glomerular-based disease is IgA nephropathy. Up to 40% of patients with IgA nephropathy progress to renal failure within 10 years. In the most severe forms of IgA nephropathy, like Wills disease, we might have to use the same drugs that might be needed to treat cancer.
They were just saying, you're going to start chemo, and I remember hearing about chemo. I remember hearing, I might be infertile, I might not be able to have kids, I might lose my hair, just all the things that are going to happen, that are going to change, and it's just kind of, it's very overwhelming.
I tend to be a pretty focused individual, so I just say, all right, we've got an issue here. Let's get the best possible guidance we can, and we will just outpower this problem and find out who knows the most about it and get that person's opinion and drive on from there. But it feels horrible. I mean, the first thoughts as a parent is, let me have this. You don't need to have this. I'm 60. I don't have to. Let me be sick. Don't let my kids be sick.
I couldn't have gotten through without my family. It takes a lot of the pressure off. Like I said, my dad comes to all my medical appointments with me. He's always on top of all the doctors, asking questions and making sure we have all the information and tracking all of the process, how it's going through, so I don't have to think about it too much.
Dr. Michelle is part of a group here in Toronto that have resident experts here in Toronto about IgA nephropathy is unbelievable. I mean, it's the best in the country or the continent or maybe anywhere. And being part of a study with this depth of knowledge was very comforting.
The biggest challenge for me was always with dealing with this. I just didn't want it to slow me down. I've got a lot that I want to do with my life, and at this, I'm 24 years old, so there's a lot that's happening right now. Everyone has their ups and downs, and everyone has their struggles, and everyone has their hurdles in life that they have to get through. And on one hand, I could say that this has been one of the most challenging lives of years of my life, and it's been horrible. But you know, on the other hand, it's been a great year, and lots of good things have happened. And you know, it's just everyone has their ups and downs. It's just something we have to deal with, and you know, you keep on pushing through.
This is a group of professionals in our backyard that can take care of us, and the reason they can is because there's research helping them develop their skills and knowledge over a period of time. I don't know if we ever understand you know, how important this research is until you need it. So if somebody said to me a year ago, you know, we've got world-leading nephrologist research right in Toronto, I think my reaction would be probably typical to anybody else you saw on the street and says, oh, that's nice. But when you need it, boy, oh boy, aren't we lucky that it's right here.